Hey, Shopomaniacs.
Hey.
It's Dave from the future. We got to go back. I don't know. Hey, Chris, how's it going? I tried to confirm the click. That's what we're talking about on our YouTube studies. You know, you have a thumbnail that's like websites from the future, right? And then I got to confirm the click. You know?
Whatever the I see.
Whatever that title was.
It better be exactly what what you're in for. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I like that we're just getting into it too. It does seem like I'm sure we've been guilty of this and are doing it now to some degree. Is like I can't wait 6.5 minutes for the content of the show. It was rough. I was listening to Amy Poehler's podcast the other day, which is really, it can be fun, and she's a pretty good host.
Yeah,
but man, does it takes
or whatever.
While to get into it, especially because she has this pre-guest before the guest, where she asks a question of what she should ask the guest. I'm like, dang. I definitely need a marker on that show to get to the good part.
I kind of like the format, just the hey, we're gonna, I guess you are talking to a friend of that guest in theory, right? And so you're just kind of hey, friend of guest, what do we need to know about guest to make this interview great? Or and then you get kind of the talk show sort of thing where you get a pre-guest, the 5-minute guest, and then you get the 10-minute guest, sort of. But
yeah, I guess that is what it is. There's some precedent there, isn't there?
Yeah, but I like that podcast. I don't always know the people. That's where I have famous people blindness. Did you know that about me? I'm not good at famous people. I could be sitting next to I don't know, Steven Spielberg, and I wouldn't even know. It's just
right.
I don't have that gene. Where
by look or by name, apparently even by name or voice too.
Voice, weirdly, I can do because cartoons, kids cartoons. I know the voice actors. But names, I don't pay attention. I don't remember. The faces.
Maya Hawke.
Nope.
Nothing.
Got nothing. Okay. Yeah. Double blanks there. Just yeah.
Kate McKinnon.
Okay, SNL. Yeah, got that. She's also a voice actor on a cartoon. So there you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Mariska Haggerty.
Oh, is she? She's Law and Order. Ka-chung.
Ah, good job.
That's the only one I know because that's my wife's whatever hall pass, if you will. That's the
No way.
No,
really?
No, I'm just kidding.
So she's a both ways.
No,
Aziz Ansari.
I know Aziz because of Tom Haverford, but yeah, but but no, it's when you people really like Mariska whatever. See, I don't know her last name, so Law and Order.
Yeah, SVU specifically too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. I listened to one with this Sebastian Maniscalco on it, and he's just a stand-up guy. He's been at it a long time.
Never heard of him.
Very charming on the show. I thought he was hilarious. He has this thing where he wears 2 colognes. Different ones.
Okay.
But on the front and back, so his smell coming is different than his smell going, and I thought that was just amazing.
That's a big move. I had a contractor, we're getting a new water heater or whatever, had a guy come through the house, and he was nice, but he smelled nice. That was my biggest takeaway. I was he had cologne on, and every time he walked by, I smelled cologne, which, if you're going into people's houses, probably smell good, that's a nice thing to do, actually, So
tricky though, but because I've been burned several times on the I'd like to burn a nice smelling candle. I love it, dude. Give me what's the classic jar kind? I don't know, because now there's a million kinds of them, but they're really, I don't know, the OG candle ones. I'm
Yankee
burning
candle.
Out Yankee. There you go.
Yeah,
I also
Yankee
like
candle.
Woodwick too, because it makes the little sound when you burn it. It sounds like a little baby fireplace. Very very nice. Yeah.
Okay.
But just anything, give it to me, sparkling pine. That used to be my favorite. But in mixed company, you never know. Like I had one in my office and I was sharing it with somebody and they're like, oh, that's a hard no. Can't have any smells. And then I'd do it like at a jam or people come over and play music and I'd burn a candle and they'd be like, oh no, I'm very sensitive to that, which I get fine. But it's like, I've been burned by it so many times. I'm like, I need my fortress of solitude. I'm going to have 1,000 of these damn things. It's just me.
I'm gonna send you a link here in the old public chat. It's for this candle from Diptyque. Can you pronounce it for me? I said.
I'm like, is it in which chat? Oh, right here in Riverside.
Riverside, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah. That's a hard.
Oh,
Diptyque Paris.
Diptyque. But read the candle name. Read the candle name.
The candle name is Foi de Bois.
Yeah.
Foi de Bois.
Yeah, I'm just hanging out with Few Du Bois tonight. it's FEUDEBOIS. Just hanging out with Few Du Bois tonight.
Yeah, you have this one? Oh, Few Du Bois. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. That one's in my house somewhere. Yeah, just hanging out with Few Du Bois.
Oh, it's got the cracklies too. Maybe I'll buy this one. Then we can.
It's just funny.
I don't want it to ship from Paris. Oh my God, these are, dude. The large version of this candle is $235.
Please don't buy the larger version. Even the small version is like prohibitively expensive. But you can get a shot glass for like $40.
What are you doing with these?
This was a
premium.
My wife's Christmas gift. She liked this.
Oh, I see.
This is when you have one of these stores at your mall. One of the things you do is go there and smell things, and then you decide which smell you like the most. And
I was taken aback because the design of the label, for a very premium product like this, to me it's poorly designed. It doesn't look expensive. So anyway,
looks a little bit like a Few Du Bois got some markers and yeah,
and got at it. But to be fair, I don't like a lot of the premium fashion brands, like Louis Vuitton or whatever is in that one of them. The V is on top. It reads Vuitton Louis. And I think it just feels like a mistake. And I get that, you don't change it now. They've been like that 100 years or whatever, and maybe it doesn't matter. But I just feel
Tiffany
like a premium logo should be better.
Color, right? Tiffany, committing to the blue. So
too late.
Brands were a big deal in Japan.
They were
Brandoski. It's like everyone's buying big brand products. Everyone weirdly lived with their parents and had a bunch of disposable income in my area of town. But so everyone has Louis bags and stuff like that, and it's just never been something that's again, famous people.
Dude, I'm fresh back from Vegas. It's just filthy with that.
That's all it is, right? It's just
because
Gucci product.
Exactly, dude. Exactly. It did make me think though, who's paying who at these casinos thing. I mean, surely Louis Vuitton or Prada or whatever pays to have a store at the Bellagio or whatever. But the Bellagio also wants them there. It's kind of a copacetic or a relationship or however you want to say it.
The mall by our house made this big announcement. They're like, we're gonna replace, some stores were starting to pop up, pandemic clothes kind of thing, and they're like, we're getting brands, Burberry and all the, Louis and so all this luxury goods coming into the mall, and it's just
it's like
who's
a press
that
release
for, dude? Everyone in Austin wears cargo pants and Dockers. Who's this for? So it's
fair enough.
But there's a market. There's a lot of people who like it, and I imagine, it smells good in there too, and so you could go in there and it smells good. So.
Yeah, maybe it makes people feel a certain way. Not me. I feel nothing looking at a Louis Vuitton store, but I'm sure there are brands that would make me feel a certain way. Like a Martin guitar store or something. I'd be like, oh, sick.
Yeah,
let's get that brand going.
We did get a new guitar center in Austin. I guess we should talk about that. My son's new ritual is, hey, Dad, can we go to Guitar Center? Because he started playing guitar. It's really great.
Yeah.
It's kind of just fun. It's like a cool way to kill an hour or whatever, and you just get a. But it's like a new flagship store. Apparently, it's like
yeah.
I think it's L.A., Nashville, and Austin or something. I have these flagship stores, and oh man, it's huge. It's like an old furniture store they took over, and so it's just this like huge area. So
yeah,
they got all these
you'd
like
think you'd want to go
$20,000
to
guitars and stuff.
I think in Austin you have the ability to go to Norman's Rare Guitars too. Have you ever stepped foot into
I don't think
it?
I've been to Norman's. No.
I'll put it in the chat. I just watched a YouTube video about it the other day that was like, whatever. If Tom Petty's in town, that's where he goes, or whatever. One of those type of stores. It's just filthy with famous people. I don't know if you want your boy looking at $50,000 guitars or whatever.
That would be hard on my, a lot. Yeah. Yeah, we had we have some cool like old shops like Straight Music, but that to be honest, it's not that great. I'm gonna be honest, but and then we have like there's just been some cool shops in Austin over the years, and so
yeah, it does. This is a pretty cool music town, really.
Yeah.
What is, Dave? I don't think I asked you about this on the show and it's been a while now, maybe a month. But you posted one about the killer feature of web components that I want to understand.
Oh
better.
yeah, I remember that one.
Been a little minute.
I can give you the synopsis of it.
Yeah.
So, to me, the killer feature of web components is this thing you probably haven't heard about. It's called the Custom Elements Manifest.
Haven't heard of it.
And yeah, see, you didn't know. But it's basically an analyzer that you run, a community-sourced analyzer that you run on your custom element, right?
Okay, yeah.
And because custom elements are classes, very predictable, right? We can like start abstracting information, like what attributes you have, what properties are on the class, what like what's public, private. Maybe that's like harder, but this is where like all you have to do to like inform the analyzer, like it can analyze a static class, but if you like add some JS doc, you actually in even TypeScript and decorators and stuff like that, you can like start like really like informing the tool about the API.
Yeah, and then what do you get from the tool?
You get like a JSON document. So, and then you can run this on one component or your whole system of components, right? So let's say we have 30 components in our system. So now I can see the surface area of my components and I have a big JSON document. And there's other like API extractor things that does this, right? Like this is not like analyzing isn't novel, but what is cool about this is from this one file, this custom elements.json, custom-elements.json, you can do things like generate a storybook. You can build your API documents. You can like spit out readmes. You can inform a language server, like a custom language server on, in your code editor. You can like create a linter so you don't have any bad attributes or whatever. You can create React wrappers. You can create Angular wrappers.
You could make a linter if you wanted to, but is there one already?
Yeah, it exists already. So like you can just like go through and just be like, don't like when you look at every element, make sure it has this, this set of attributes and these approved values,
Well, that's cool. Is that, I guess I assume stuff has that, but it would not in web component land, right? Like this isn't like.
Well, that's what's weird is because like in HTML you have it because HTML is
right. And in
whatever.
Vue and in Svelte and React you have it because that's just how they work. But maybe it's something you lose going to web components until now.
Yeah, because basically you're in web components. It's like I'm making up HTML, like whatever, and so like a Vue component's like, dude, I don't, like
do whatever you want.
We're Vue, we control Vue, But so anyway, this like from this one file, you can like now you're getting into React wrappers if you're supporting React less than 19, Angular wrappers. I know a team building Jest mocks, so like web components are DOM and JS DOM doesn't do shadow DOM, right? So, oops, problem. So you can like mock out the whole component in Jest. You can build JSX types, which React is like really strict about, like the declare namespace and then like add a type in there. Figma Code Connect. Do you know what Figma Code Connect is? That's where you link your design components in Figma to your code components.
Isn't that just an MCP or no? Or what is it different?
It's involved. The MCP is tied in there. So basically you tell from your code base, you tell Figma like, hey, this component is this file. And then when you use Figma MCP, it's going to spit out like a React Tailwind kind of abstraction, like an XML file basically.
Yeah.
But if it knows you have this like layer in your file, it's like basically they take whatever Figma node tree and convert it to a React tree, right? But but if it knows it's a component that it knows about, it will like say like, hey, this is a component and this is the file that it is. So then you can take that abstraction and like from the MCP, like, hey, get what I have selected, and then you can take that and then convert that deterministically even into your own like code. And then, yeah, you can like power an MCP server. Like we've been doing that. Like, I'm not in the best MCP guy. I'll be honest. I don't like sit around and be like, I should ask this guy about, hi, what is my code base? Like I'm not that guy, but like it's whatever asked about,
I've basically used one MCP in my life, and because I still struggle to get it a little bit, but it's to me it's just like, I don't know, you turn the LLM you're currently using can now do some more stuff, and what that new stuff is feels a little magical. Like, right. I don't know, you just need to know what it can do, I guess. You better read the docs.
It's basically like context inside an LLM is precious, right? So that's
the number of that.
The number of tokens you send it, and then the number of tokens it'll send back. So like you want to send it as much context as you can, but it's easy to blow that context window, like,
sure.
And then
it can't be your whole code base because it's a little too much still. So
so then the agent or the LLM is just going to crash or start producing more hallucinations because it just like, just like a human, to be honest, not to anthropomorphize these things too much, but like, you tell me about 7,000 things, I'm probably going to do a less good job if you want me to do one thing, right? So, but the idea with MCPs is basically an API, like a universal protocol, an API to where you say, hey, LLM, you have access to these tools and you can do these tasks, actions, and the MCP or the LLM, the agent can go, okay, cool. I don't have to remember that stuff, but if I need it on demand, I will go get it.
That's the magical part to me. Is like, now that you have the MCP installed, you don't say, you can kind of say, go use this new ability you have, and it will probably understand that and do it. But you don't have to. It could just decide that it wants to. So you just kind of like allude to it. So the example, the one I've used is the Google Chrome DevTools one. And I just give it an A+ because it's been because sometimes you're like, oh, dude, you're doing some code and it's causing this problem in the browser. And otherwise you just have to kind of explain it. So I can just be all incredulous. I'll be like, just go look for yourself then. You go look.
Yeah.
You go look. And you give it a URL and it's like, fine, I will go look. And it does go look.
Yeah.
And it looks at the DOM. It looks like the network graph. It'll take a screenshot of the page and look. I was doing one that it was an issue in a modal, and the only way you could open the modal was a drop down. And it's not like blazingly fast, but it figured it out. It figured out that, oh, I got to get there by this menu, and I can't get to the menu until I click the thing that opens the menu, and then I click the thing in the menu to get there, and it finally got there and looked at it, and it was like some like white on yellow text, and it was able to see that in the screenshot, and I was just like, geez, that's great. And that's not just straight up tokens. That's now sending back, in addition to the tokens, like a JPEG or whatever, which is another type of context. And anyway, I've used it not all the time, but I do think that's nice. Is that as much context is great, and there is a lot of context outside of your own code base. I was just reading who's the guy, the smart guy, Dan Abramov.
Dan Abramov, guy.
Smart guy. Talking about how it says how to fix any bug, and he was doing some vibe coding and stuff too, and he was having trouble because the browser was not scrolling as quickly as he wanted to. And I read this whole thing, and I was just waiting for him to say, "Oh, you just give it the Chrome MCP, and then it can just look in the browser." And he doesn't mention that, and I don't know if it's because he doesn't know or if it wasn't the correct thing. But I was like, "Oh, dude, of course the LLM just needs to have the browser as part of the context it has access to. It'll totally solve this crap, I wasn't totally sure because his thing involves scrolling, and scrolling is maybe a little above and beyond the nature of what this thing can do, because you can't, and of course what he suggested to solve his own problem was also very effective in his blog post, but it definitely had me thinking about like, there definitely needs to be you're working on a freaking website. Give it the context of the browser too.
Yeah,
obviously.
Right? Well, and that's, like the LLM by itself, right, is going to, it probably has Stack Overflow in its brain. It probably has GitHub code in its brain or whatever. But no, look into the browser right now. That's the error I'm getting, and when you
just go look,
simulate a click on it, guess what? That's what it does, and and there's kind of like, sort of like, you could write Puppeteer scripts, Chris, and do all this and tests and, like simulations.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. And then it would have access to that because it does have access to terminal. Well, I guess it's as transformative as that is to a front end developer.
Yeah, you're kind of just handing that over to the tool, the agent, to like kind of do Puppeteer for you, So I think like, I think there's tools like, I think what's most interesting to me is that Figma Code Connect stuff, because it's like I just select a layer in Figma and say give me this, and it like comes back with like code I can, I have to translate it into code I like, but like that's pretty interesting. Hey, dude, got a visitor here in the office. Fun. I should say about MCPs, right? Sorry. The Anthropic made the MCP, Model Context Protocol, right? But if you watch Theo and you do the Theos, you're probably clued in. But apparently MCP is dead already. It's had a good year.
What? Really?
Well, we got a critter here. But apparently MCP's already like passe. But what
Why?
Anthropic
What's
is
the new thing?
Anthropic is suggesting skills, which is like you basically have a folder of markdown files where you tell the agent, instead of like go get this from an MCP, you say, hey agent, you can do these things, like you can go to the command line and run match input source, and find dependencies or whatever, right? Like you have those like tools. You can describe it in markdown words, the tools it has access to via the command line without and because I think
I admit I kind of like that.
Yeah, I think what's happening is people are going and installing every MCP ever, right? This is funny. Everyone's installing every MCP ever, and they like find out like, oh, they're blowing the context window because now you've told it about 20 MCPs, right? So like, now your context window just got chipped away by these tools you installed. So
fair enough.
It's probably better to just do like per like project level skills, right? So.
Of course, I'm already behind on this. I think I'm cool by learning about how getting some use out of an MCP, and they're already dead.
I'm like perpetual, at least 6 months behind the curve. I mean, like, I think when I joined Microsoft, I was like, I'm gonna have to like write prompts. What's prompt engineering? And it's like, you know, Swix is already like, prompt engineering's dead, you know, and I'm like, darn it, dude.
Dang it. Yeah.
Thought I was that. Now what? And then it's MCP. Oh my God, MCP agents, MCP. And then it's like, well, even Anthropic's own blog post, it's like MCPs are a little chalked. Like,
I don't know. I feel like I'm okay at prompting, but only because like something got in my head that like you should just explain it like you're explaining it to like it'd be you sitting there. I could picture you, and I'd be like, I'll just tell Dave what's up. So like, don't be too light on what you're asking for it to do. Like don't say your regular voice. But you don't have to go too crazy either. And,
yeah, and you know, then I think like there's also this. I to be honest, it gives me bubble vibes when like the what's cool changes every 6 to 12 months. You know, like it's all about PRDs and like generating these like how to build a app. Like. But you ask the LLM to write the PRD, and then you execute the PRD, or Anyway, interesting space. All to say, back to custom elements manifest. So you can basically
CEM, baby. If you see that
CEM, that's what we call it in the biz. And so like you can basically from this one file power all these different kinds of tools, right? And I think like what we are looking at, we've like implemented this through the help of Burton Smith, who bummer just left Microsoft, but I'm not gonna be too hard on him. But like we've it's fine. But he's going somewhere else. But like I think we are just kind of like, we are able to sort of like start powering this stuff, like and it's mostly like this, it's the red squiggles, the drop downs, the like generating files, and kind of the like meta system developer experience stuff that is, kind of expected from a library, right? Like you have a storybook, you have an API docs, you have language docs, so, or language servers, you have linters, like all that stuff is kind of like, dude, I don't want to spend, days, weeks, months building this, so can we automate it as best as possible? So, and I'm even seeing like, if I go into one of our component files, we're a little overkill just because that's like, our life. But
like how much documentation you put around these things.
Well, like, so we did the thing where we have Fluent, that's the open source system, and we have like a internal source fork of that that's like more optimized for like a different design language. That Fluent one looks like business Microsoft, this one looks more like a consumer thing. So we've like forked this stuff, and but one thing we did was make every component a package, right? And so now every component has a package.json. Every component has a changelog.json. Every component has a change log. Every component has its own TS config, because you need to have that. Every component has its own.
One seems too far, but okay.
Yeah. Well, you would think you could share, but it's always just this weird like thing, right? Like it just like doesn't know, or it's like, what do you mean? Like I'm like, what config do I use? Because if somebody just had that one package, how would they build it or whatever,
Yeah, I do kind of get that, but yeah.
But then every component has, every component has like its own playwright config. Again, has its own test directory for like, tests, like, performance tests, and let's see, like running on the client and running on the server. And
so it's like each component is its own repo.
Each component's its own, repo, basically, in a mono repo. And so it's like, could be 20, 30 files actually in here. Not to mention every component is at least like 5 files. It's like the definition, the class, the styles, the template, and the like options, right? So like you have like 5 different files in there, It sounds like
so if you change a TS config thing, is there a script that's like, ooh, there's been some drift in the TS configs, or is it okay that one's TS config is different?
Yeah, good question. I mean, it all extends the same, and they're all the same basically. Like it's just like, hey, here's our compiler, and here's the includes in this source directory, and here's the excludes in this source directory. So it's just kind of like because we're compiling these components, building them one by one in their own package, they then have to like have like all this context. So they share the same global config, but then we have to point to the specific directories. But that said, like with the CEM, we know our components now. Maybe we could start generating these on the fly when we need them, like, oh, we're doing build. It's like generate TS config and then build it, Oh, we're doing we're doing tests. Great. Generate this test folder based on the CEM, put the element on the page. We know the element name, and then run through all these options, like all these attributes and all these properties, and set them and see if they work. Oh, we're like doing tests to see if it like, or whatever document create element, my element works. Like, cool. We could probably automate that. If we set this attribute to
that's exactly what I was thinking. It's very scriptable.
So like now that we have these custom elements JSON for every package, like I kind of see a future where we could maybe like thin out a lot of our chunk, like a lot of our extra sort of like in-house business files, just because it's all boilerplate, right? So like, could we start automating boilerplate? That would be super cool. So
yeah, in a world where there's a lot of boilerplate, I guess. Not only because business, but web components are kind of boilerplatey.
Well, that's I think that's the nice thing actually about this custom elements manifest and the predictability of classes is what you're getting when you get in there. When I hop into somebody else's web component, Chris, I'm never like, what the hell is going on here? Because it's all very laid out.
Yeah, so maybe you overdid it, but there can be benefits to overdoing it, as there's no mystery ever.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. A class as I know it's not a monad, it's not functional programming, bro, but it's like the mall directory of like, what's happening? Where am I? Oh, you are here. You're in this class, and guess what? You can do these things in this class.
Yeah.
It's really like almost.
That's the best segue I've ever heard, because you know what else is a class, Dave? Events are on a class.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool. You'd think in the world of custom elements, the idea of custom events would come up for you occasionally. Does it? Like, do you have like a?
We do. Lit and then also fast have this like thing called emit, like $ emit. It's like views $emit, and it basically like sends a bubble, an event up one layer. It's basically like, hey, did you know about this? Like, so we do like custom change events, custom toggle events, things like that. But
I would think so, right? Like a tab changes and then you emit the tab change. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. That's just what I would expect, or I could see somebody going all in on it and being like, all of the things that happen in my custom elements are custom events, and we just emit them all the time, just because whoever might want to listen to it or something.
Yeah,
that could be like an architectural choice.
I was thinking the other day, like it might be cool to like, instead of like click, you could say like whatever, my button click, like just to be like more. Click, I guess, is really nice, and it's going to happen anyway. But like, like you're emitting like this component's click happened. Like maybe that's cool. I don't know.
Yeah, it's already. Yeah, maybe that one is just barely into overkill, because you can always like see event.target to see which one it is already and stuff.
Right.
Like it's hard to imagine why that is particularly useful, but a tab change is cool because you're like, which tab?
Which tab?
Which parent?
Who's active? Who's now unactive? You know, like that's
right. Stuff like that. It seems like very reasonable to want to know. Imagine tabs that are red, yellow, and blue, and when you click the yellow one, the background of the page also turns yellow. So the background of the page probably has nothing to do with the tabs element, but some kind of higher level parent needs to care about that. So it's like listening for the tab change event. Anyway, I'm just
that's a great example.
Riffing here because I just read this Justin Fignani, Vignani, who says custom events just shouldn't even exist. But with a caveat, juicy, because they're kind of a bummer. And that if you make a custom event called like my tab changed or something, and then you want to put detail in there, which is probably maybe the reason you're doing it, maybe.
Yeah, I wanna send a cool message.
Information.
Yeah,
it might be enough to know that my tab changed. Fine, like if that's all you need to know. But that seems like you probably are trying to expose a little bit more data or something. And in that case, if it's a actual like literal capital C capital E custom event, that data has to go into a thing that is hung off the event called detail. If you want data in a custom event, it has to be in like event.detail, which is weird because did you know that? Not everybody knows that. And now you just like need to know that in order to get that data. Like nobody's telling you need to look there, but you need to look there. Because if you're just looking on the event, you're not going to find the data you might be looking for. Not the world's biggest deal, but it's a little weird, especially because he says there is a perfect alternative to using custom event. And it's that you can make an event called like my tab change as a class that extends, literally the extends keyword, like a web component event. So you can just make my tab change as an extends to event and then hang that data right off of that subclass. So like just do that and then you don't have this problem.
Yeah. It's kind of cool. And so like you just add attributes. So instead of like e.detail.message, you would just say, no, this event has a message.
E.message.
Yeah. E.message.
Right. He's got a couple other points too, but I think that's a pretty strong one.
Yeah, well, hey, we're not. That's not going to break your
change the world.
That doesn't. We're not. Top.
I also like that you can probably just hover over the event, and your VS Code is just going to know all about that kind of event. And,
right. Yeah. It's not some like mystery object. That's the problem I think with like event.detail. It's just sort of this mystery zone, right? Like it's a payload of.
Right. If you're smart, like Justin, he calls it a leaky abstraction.
Yeah. Okay. That's a computer guy word. Yeah. Okay, computer guy, you got me. No, I like it. I actually hadn't seen this poster. I guess it happened this summer or something. But
yeah, I'm always behind on my. I save every link and then I slowly read through them. My RSS is a mess at the point, but I read in chronological order. So I'm like, I don't care what was published on November 19th as we record them. I'm on October 17th right now.
Yeah.
I'm
in 2023. So deal with it. We got 3,000 read. We're going to get there. So I do love that about RSS. And I don't know. It's way better than this everything in tabs situation I got going too.
And like, even, like I'm sure this article made its rounds in like August's JavaScript newsletters. And I don't care. I just read it and I'm just going to share it because I think that's okay. Like I'm sure lots of people didn't see this and I can add my own color to it now. Whatever, You
know what I think I like about it is you then have did my camera shut off again?
It did. I should have said something, but I thought it might have been
it happened a long time
bandwidth
ago.
Thing.
No,
it was only like 3 minutes ago or less.
I touched a wire and so everything's dying. Okay. Yeah, so like what I like about this is you can create these event classes, and they are, and I feel like they are, they extend native events. Like I've had things where I made my own toggle event, which is a new kind of event for popovers and things like that, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to emit a toggle event, and like, it would be cooler if like my design system or whatever, rather than do like emit funky event, like what if we had a collection of known events that we emit, we emit, click, funky clicks, we emit funky toggles, we emit funky, close, funky open, like those are the ones we admit, and they have a very defined shape, right? Like previous, next, old, new, like what if I saw this post, I think you posted it in Discord today, but like I feel like it would add a lot of consistency to how we're managing events. Like I could probably go through and like find all of our events and be like, oops, so I am curious if like these, if
what?
Well, I'm curious if the thing I use, emit, inside fast already sort of extends an event, but it wouldn't know what kind of event I'm extending, so I don't think it does. So yeah, like I have
yeah, I guess not.
I have list near end, list near start, list near end, list near start, link invoked, link invoked.
Oh, you have a lot of these bad boys.
And then I have toggle change, like like there's events, man. What if we had like just a very consolidated list of events that we admit, like a manifest of these are things, this is their shape. Like next time we open it up and make one, it doesn't, we aren't inventing new paradigms, so it's only like 5 and 10 events. I feel like we're actually pretty let me see how many dispatch events we have. That'll tell you if you how messed up you really did it. Oh yeah, we got some dispatch events. Those are all in.
So you do find that there's a connection between the world of custom events and custom elements.
I think there could be. I mean, I think, well, I just, design systems, right? Like you're making a system, and now guess what components do? They do events sometimes, they have their own custom events. And so like, why not make an event system that's very practical, like, and I would even be like export class, whatever, funky click extends click event, or that's actually probably you should just do event, but like what about like export class funky toggle extends toggle event, like give it like I wonder if it's smart or stupid to do like the very like very descriptive like root element, or root event, or if it's smarter to keep it generic, like event. I'd have to play with it, but I like it. I don't know. I'm I think we should do that more. So
yeah, at the end he's like, well, it's kind of more TypeScript friendly too, but not really, because you can just do that with the details thing too. You can like type your details is also fine. So I don't think that one counts as a particular one. Here's another one. You want me to hear some news in the world?
A new post? Okay, bold choice, but sure.
Working community group for declarative partial updates. Are you seeing this? Interleaved.
Oh yeah, HTML streaming. Bigger. That's
interleaved HTML streaming, whatever that is. Tell me what you know about it.
Was this Jake Archibald's Firefox thing?
I don't think so.
That's
now
not
we're
connected?
in GNOME land.
Oh, Numer. I think there's sort of this idea of like streaming HTML. Oh, this is for out of order HTML streaming. Interesting.
Perhaps.
Okay.
I mean, you can
Yeah.
streaming HTML has existed for a long time, and it's just this funky thing because it's like super cool and useful, but it requires all kinds of your stack to work with it, and it like there's just all kinds of stuff that doesn't work with it, and I think because of that patchwork nature, we just kind of got out, as an industry, kind of got out of the habit of streaming our HTML.
Right. Right.
But it's a little bit like a progressive JPEG where it, like it can start doing, the browser can start doing stuff with the HTML immediately instead of waiting for all of it, which seems good. But that's just, like that's good for performance specifically. But this is, whatever this is like streaming it. Like imagine your browser gets chunk of HTML and it renders it really fast, but then it like just holds that connection open or something, and then it's like it gets some more information for the server that's like, oh, that like div over there, sorry, here's some more content for that. Maybe not sorry, I don't know why I would apologize for that. But go put it in that, put this new stuff I got in that div later, like a minute later. Right, so it's a little bit like there was no fetch made or whatever. It just was like it just received some more stuff from the servers, and it was told where to put it, so it does. Interesting.
Interesting. Yeah.
Well, let's read it instead of just
how
guess.
does it? Yeah, give us some highlights because I'm curious
Streaming
how
of
it
HTML.
knows what element to update. That's what's.
Well, yeah,
how does
exactly.
it patch? Yeah.
Streaming of HTML existed from the early days of the web. Yeah, we know that. HTML content is streamed in DOM order. That's a constraint of existing HTML streaming. After the initial parsing of the document, streaming is turned off, like we just said. So what about all this? So it's all the stuff we just said. But JS frameworks can do a little bit more, not with HTML streaming, but they kind of fake it, I guess. It says, for example, React streams content out of order by injecting inline script tags that modify the already parsed DOM. I didn't even really realize that's what it does, but if it needs to like go backwards and mess with some DOM that's already there, it puts a script in that does that quick. Ugh. This proposal introduces partial out of order HTML streaming. Yeah. Okay, so what's a patch? A patch is a stream of HTML content that can be injected into a position in the DOM. A patch can be streamed directly into that position using JavaScript, and multiple patches can be interleaved in an HTML document, allowing for out-of-order content as part of an ordinary HTML response. Okay, so a patch comes in. That's why you would keep the stream open, is because then later you'll receive a patch, and that. But now we're trying to figure out, like you asked, Dave, how does it know what to do with the patch? So it says a patch is a stream that targets a parent node. What is it? How does it select that parent node? Well, I guess we'll find out. Usually an element, but potentially a shadow root. Interesting. It can handle strings, bytes, or a trusted HTML string. When it receives bytes, it decodes them. Anything other than strings or bytes is stringified. When a patch is active, it's essentially a writable stream that feeds a blah, blah, blah. So it's like, it's not just the patch. Even the patch doesn't have to arrive all at once. The patch itself can be streamed. The fragment parser is only used to set up the thing. It's similar to calling document.write, but just scoped to a node. So it's not document, it's whatever.write.
Okay.
Which is funny because we're all told that's the worst thing in the world you can do, but
it is.
I get
it.
Okay. Yeah. One of the most atomic forms of patching, opening a node container for writing a writable stream to it. Okay. So there's even a direct API to this. If you want to call in JavaScript stream HTML, you can do it. So it's also controllable, I guess. That's neat. I wonder what language. I mean, this is obviously JavaScript, but what kind of JavaScript are they trying to show us Node that's doing this, or is this client side?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I guess it would have to be client if it knows kind of about the element or shadow root. Like,
yeah, you're right. It must.
But okay, so so I click a button and I say, cool button, set up all this streamable thing, right? but then go fetch and go get stuff. And then like as you start getting this in, chunks like just start replacing it.
Yeah, render it. So it's showing us a section with, I don't know why they made up an attribute, but okay. That's a gallery, and inside of it is loading ... And then later it says, and I don't know if later means in the same document or this arrives later via patch or something. You get a template element. So this is still kind of declarative, which is interesting, isn't it? So it says content method replace children, which I guess the children here would be this text node of loading ... And then the section content for gallery. Oh, I see. So content name isn't just absolutely made up. It's a way of connecting streaming content that comes in later. So this is, how for matches a name on inputs. Now it's content for matches a content name just generally for streaming. And then the actual gallery content comes in. So that's interesting that you don't have to tell it at the JavaScript level where to replace the children. That information just comes in the HTML that you receive. Oh, that's crazy. Yeah. That's very interesting to me that this is enough information to know to go patch this piece up here.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's I think I've read like Gnome's other versions of this. I'm like, oh yeah, I've read this, or something similar. Just like this kind of like and progressively enhance this with data from somewhere else, right? Like I'm gonna stream data into this bucket. Get ready, right? Like I think that's actually a fair thing to do. I mean, like I do.
It's so close to HTML includes. That's what I am interested in here. The problem is, how do I send HTML includes would not have loading ... here. It would have like this. I don't know. It needs like an href. It needs like div href or something. But I think this is the way in. In fact, the only reason I'm looking at this document is somebody over there sent it to me that says this is the way in. If you want HTML includes, this is the key that unlocks it.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah.
So maybe, but it's not in here yet. It's not even one of the FAQs, but you can kind of imagine it while you're looking at this, that you're like, okay, somehow you give the HTML document replacement information for the stuff that's there. You can imagine it that this gets swapped out for the content. And I'll actually like that they're dealing with the loading state right away, because what do you do with the loading state for HTML includes? Do you have that opportunity, or is it render blocking or what? And this is saying it's not render blocking. It has a loading state, which is maybe good. I would hope HTML includes, if it are, hope you get to pick. I could see you wanting it to be render blocking. Because because do you want your navigation, which is almost surely a use case for HTML includes, to have a spinner? No,
Yeah, well, and like, yeah. I mean, this would even be cool. Like, I mean, your DOM content load is going to be gnarly, but you could like write this,
it will never
and then
fire.
like 7,000 lines later, your gallery comes in. And then that chunks, and then it just auto upgrades the loader that you put up top, right? Like, so like, it's kind of like if you could think of like a very long HTML document, this starts updating it as it starts getting new intel, gets new information.
Yeah.
It can be like,
is that what they're saying here? Is it's not, yes, it does kind of keep the HTML network request open for getting more stuff. But I could see that, like a very long HTML document, and you're just choosing to put all this heavy extra gallery crap at the end because you're like, it's okay that that's not rendered immediately. I'm on purpose putting it at the way bottom of this HTML document because it's like, I'd prefer that you get and render the skeleton for this gallery first, and you can wait to get the rest of that content till the bottom of the document. So now your HTML document becomes a more patchwork thing of what you want to load first. It's now just which is, I mean, maybe it presents some accessibility issues, but I don't know.
Well, I think if you can get it at the platform level, and this is how HTML works, it's less of a, hopefully less of an. Did my camera just shut off again?
I guess it did. Anyway, we're done talking about this anyway.
I'm done. I'm buying a new camera. This sucks, dude. I'm tired of this. Anyway, cool.
We're gonna head over to the Gear channel.
Head over to the Gear channel. Get convinced by friends. I don't know. Yeah, like I'm interested. I think there's a few sort of irons in the fire right now about sort of like this more declarative streaming and rendering and all that stuff sort of future. So I mean, I think bring it. Yeah, Jake Archibald had like I think it was sort of like this stream unsafe HTML or something like that, but it's basically like stream HTML and sanitize it on the fly, please. Like just make it, when it comes in, make sure it's like good, so and safe to put on the page. And so that would be cool to have, but
yeah, it would. All right, well,
cool, Chris. Yeah, thanks for joining me today, and thank you, dear listener, for joining us. Be sure to shard it up. That's how people find out about the show. If your bosses want to sponsor this podcast, dude, we'll cut them a sweet deal. Just
totally.
And then if you want to actually support the show, you can join us in the Discord, patreon.com/shoptalkshow. And Christopher, did you have anything else you'd like to say?
No, I don't think so. I need to.
Can we get a Shop Talk show from Ruby?
This room. Yeah,
can we get Ruby?
Rubes, come here.
Yeah, Rube.
Okay, shoptalkshow.com.
Nice, perfect. Thank you.
That was awesome. All right, see you.